Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. If you don't know me, my name is Duhamel Bentley, and I am bringing you today the second part of what is it, I think I want to call it like the fall palette madness, and it's like a vibe, right? Like I feel like I went through my entire collection and I said, let me see what do I have available to show, my Dufe Nation, and let's pick one palette out of the bunch and create some looks, right? Something that I haven't tried before, different looks. I created different types of looks. So if you guys want to see how I created individually both eyes, I do have a step-by-step coming forward. I'm really excited because, as you guys know, fall is upon us, and I think this is the perfect fall palette. This is the PUR palette. Honestly, I don't know how to say it. I feel like the two little dots up here change the U, but the U is so different sometimes because it sounds like an O, sometimes it sounds like a U, sometimes it sounds like, girl, she's having identity crisis right here, right now. I definitely don't know how to say this, but I think this is a beautiful palette. I'm excited to try it. I feel like you guys would want to know whether you can get this or not. You would want to know if this brand is quality, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised over what we have now. My highlight, my eyes, everything that we did, was with this particular palette, which is really, really exciting, you guys. I'm gonna make sure to notate the price point, and if it's available, I'm gonna notate where it is available. To me, it's really interesting and really beautiful packaging. It's quite heavy, and it's great quality. Like overall, I feel like it's really, really great quality. And when I saw this, I was like, this is so beautiful. Like I definitely need this gorgeous palette. I think this is an everyday palette. You can definitely use this for special events, or if you just want to create a very nice soft day look. It just really has a lot of multi-use to it. And Barbie to me is such a special character, as much I'm assuming to so many of you, because in reality, ever since I was a little boy, I loved Barbies. I used to play with my sister's Barbies, and girl, the beatings I got for it. If I could return them now, right? But I do love Barbies, and I felt like they were just so beautiful. To me, a Barbie represented, poise and power and strength and something, right? A Barbie typically has something, whether it's a beautiful mermaid or a businesswoman, or there's just so many different types of Barbies, and I just found them so beautiful. Ever since I was a little boy, I would grab them, I would cut their hair, create different styles. I remember when I was trying to get layers on the Barbie's hair, I would lift them up, cut them, and then just wet the hair and curl like the ends so it looked like it was like waved out. The things kids think about, right? It's really, really crazy. And it's unfortunate, right, that, parents don't sometimes comprehend. And I felt like, as a boy, right, playing with Barbies, I never had the opportunity to sit down and be asked in a gentle manner, what is it about the Barbies that you like so much, right? What entertains you? Because it wasn't that I wanted to be a girl, because that's what everybody, it's for girls, blah, 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 blah. It was a matter of like, I just felt they were beautiful and they were fun to play with, and I wanted to play and interact with my sister. Long story short, I just really did enjoy it. I'm not making excuses for it. And I don't have Barbies currently now, but, you never know right here, right now. So let's get into this review. And if you haven't subscribed, honey, this is your chance right here, right now. I'd love to know, you guys, if you liked what we did, if you liked the day wear or the night wear. I want to know all of the opinions, thoughts, things like that. I love when you guys comment on here. We're just so excited to speak to you guys. So leave a comment down below of what you thought, whether you loved it, hated, whatever it is. It's a very inclusive channel here, so we welcome all forms of opinion. Don't be a hater, honey, because I will bite back. I'm just saying. Alright, guys, so let's begin, because I'm kind of really excited. I feel like, I've been really wanting to dive into this palette, and I feel like this is the perfect time for it. So let's start with the swatches here. My hands are clean. They feel really creamy, and they look very pigmented, which I'm very excited about. Yes, honey. This is the first row here, the first star. And I'm kind of surprised. Beautiful tones. They actually feel really buttery. You know, this formula reminds me a lot of the Huda Beauty formula. It's very creamy in that aspect like that, and it's most definitely very, very opaque on the swatch. But I don't know if it'll perform like that on the eyes. As we know here, most definitely swatches are not the 110% truth of what in reality the palette performs. But as of right now, I'm getting some good vibes, some good fall vibes from this palette right here, right now. Let's go on to the next partial star, and let's move on. So this is the second swatching here, and I'm not going to lie, my jaw is literally like at odd. I am so shocked at how creamy and vibrant these pigments are that I didn't expect that at all. I really didn't. I've been holding off on this palette because I wanted to have a moment with it just because I'll tell you guys a story in a minute here about Barbies. You know, I just really wanted to have a moment with it, and I am so shocked. I don't even know which side I love the most. It's kind of insane, but I really like them both. Let me clean my hands and let's go on to swatching the center shade and then the four shades on the corner of the palette. Hands are clean and dry. Let's go into the center shade and then the two shades on each side of the palette. Now, I will note that these little baby squares are kind of difficult to put my fingers in there because I do have a little bit of a larger finger, so I'll try my best to get, you know, smaller fingers in there. Okay, so these are the swatches here. As you can see, the lightest shade here is very translucent on my skin tone. Partially, I feel like it's because it's really hard for me to get my finger in there. But overall, I think all of them swatched really, really well. And at first I was like, I have an idea, like I know what I'm gonna do. But then now I'm just like, what do I want to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I am confused. Ah, girl, girl. There's so many options, so many beautiful, beautiful options that I kind of feel like I want to do. Yeah, I feel like that's appropriate. Let's do one eye, half one color. Let's use half of a star for one eye and half of the stars for the other. I personally just think that that's just the appropriate thing to do. So let's begin because time is of the essence. And you got a binge watch in the Doofy channel. So let's move it along, honey, so you can get to the binge watching. So let's start with my less dominant eye, which is this side of my face. I want to go definitely looking at the palette as straight as it is. I want to use these shades for this eye and then these shades for this eye. I've got a pretty great concept of what I kind of want to create, and I'm really excited because I feel like they're both going to be really, really different. So let's start off with this shade, which I don't have name. Does it have a name? Is it Trendsetter? I guess it's Trendsetter. Or is it Career Doll? No, I think it's Trendsetter. Girl, the names are in the back. It's that shade right there. Because I just, you know, I just don't have the time to go back and forth figuring out what kind of shade names you've got here. Because it's just very confusing right here, right now. I appreciate the little cardboard having the names on top of them. I'm just saying right here, right now. So on first impressions, it is picking up quite a bit of product. And it is coming quite a little bit loose. So I don't necessarily know. I don't know if you guys can pick the fallout a little bit there. I don't necessarily know if this is going to be like super fall-tastic on my face. I mean, I guess there's only one way of trying, right? Okay. So that is what this is kind of looking like. I mean, it's pigmenting really, really nicely. And I mean, I don't have any fallout on my face, which is quite lovely. I thought I was going to have a little bit of fallout. Essentially, what I've done is I'm packing it on, grabbing it, and then gently packing it on my lid. Of course, we're at very early stages here. And again, this is my less dominant eye, so if I close both of my eyes, don't judge me, girl. Wiping off the excess of the brush, I'm going to go in for the more tangerine shade in here. I want to say that's definitely more of like the terracotta or, you know, the Spanish tile looking kind of shade. By the way, guys, do you like Spanish tiles in homes? I feel like I enjoy the Spanish tiling, but I feel like I wouldn't purchase a home with Spanish tiling because that's just I prefer more modern, clean cut kind of styles of home. I know some people have like farm styles of homes, but I prefer that luxury, clean cut, like modern finish to the home. And I feel like the Spanish tile gives it like more rusticness and maybe like a more of a vacation house. And I mean, that's great. I'll be happy having had that in my vacation home. But on my real home, I feel like I want everything clean, cut. Gorgina, George, where are you, right? Okay, so now that I have both of those shades on, I'm gonna go for the deeper kind of cranberry tone, which is this shade right here. And I'm recycling the same brush, and the reason why I'm doing that is because, well, number one, I have too many brushes that are dirty, and I just kind of like want to reutilize them as best as I can. And number two is, I'm going with such a dark shade on the crease again to create depth and to intensify the tones. So I don't really need to dirty another brush because I feel like it's going to kind of mesh and work really, really well within each other. Okay, so now that this is starting to build the intensity, let's start going into a different brush. I definitely want to use something that's a little bit more fluffy again, but I want to start dissipating this. If you take that extra little bit of steps to soften everything out, it just looks more professional. It looks well put together. It just really looks from like a $10 makeup job to like $1 billion, or at least you feel like that, right? I'm going to be grabbing this corner shade right here, which is the lightest orange shade. All right, so now that I'm happier with the blending, essentially I just play between the two brushes that I was using. I'm going to grab a different fluffy brush because I still feel like I want to soften things out more. And I have already so much pigment here between the lightest terracotta kind of orangey tone and the other tones that have been in here. So I want to make sure that I'm extending this and kind of turning it as invisible as I can. So I'm grabbing a new brush for that, and the brush that I'm going to be grabbing is the A11 by Morphe and Ariel collection. I feel like this is a really, really lovely fluffy brush. So definitely, if you can get it, definitely I do recommend it. I think like Morphe brushes, in my opinion, have worked really, really well for me. I feel like the only thing that I had an issue with is with packaging. Normally I get this, kind of messed up, or I have to re-glue it, things like that. But other than that, I really, really enjoy them, and the price is really affordable compared to a lot of brushes out there. So I really like them. Now that I have the base and I'm happy with how it's softening everything out, I'm going to grab the P. Louise base. And I really like the P. Louise bases in particular for cutting the crease. I don't necessarily enjoy them for setting. A lot of people say, you don't have to set them. Girl, let me tell you something really quick. If you're new to the Doofy channel, welcome, honey. We're never going to say anything to, just flower up a brand. If we don't like it, if it doesn't work, if we've tried it several times with several different approaches, and it just doesn't work, we're not going to recommend it. So I personally don't like this for as a base. I prefer the Paint Pot by MAC. It's just has never disappointed me. It lasts a very, very long time, and I love the packaging of that. I love the packaging of this as well, and I think this is really, really cute. And I think that, what was it? Mama Mitchell, which actually this is for his collection, yeah. Made these really, really popular, and I feel like the brand is really, really beautiful, but I don't like them as a base. I feel like they break if you don't work fast with them, and sometimes it's just really difficult to work with. It gets a little muddy. Sorry, but not sorry. I haven't had positive experiences with it, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, P. Louise, honey, if I want P. Louise, I can buy it. I don't need it to be sent to me in PR by lies, right? So let's grab the P. Louise here. Mama's on a rant today, honey. So normally how I apply it is I do this. This is a lot. Literally, this is enough for both of your eyes in correction. But, definitely we want to make sure we have enough to do the cut crease. My vibe is the half cut crease. That's literally what I love. I feel like it just works well with my eye shape. I would advise you to definitely play a little bit around within your eye shape. In this case, I wouldn't do the half cut crease. I call it the half moon crease because I kind of extend it just a little bit, and I feel like it just looks really, really cute. The glimmer pops a little bit more. The intensity in the corner just works well overall. But again, if you don't do it like this, doesn't mean that's a bad thing. It just means that, preference is preferences, right? So I'm grabbing a brush here that is as fine and as thin and as sharp as I can get it. So let me scavenger and I'll be right back. Use something that's really, really flat like this Ariel and Morphe one as well. Just try your best to wet the brush and then kind of smash in, so this way all of the bristles are getting evenly distribution of product, right? We want to make sure that we have that even distribution, especially when we're creating kind of lines or anything that can potentially really make or break the makeup. Okay, so I want to give you a really quick tip because I feel like for me, I saw people doing this and I was like, oh my God, am I going to be able to do this? Honey, take your time, do little steps, right? It's not going to happen in like 2 seconds. Rome literally wasn't built in a day. It's still getting rebuilt today. So, take your time, break it out, kind of fix the little errors here. Don't get discouraged. Okay, so the crease has been cut. I'm extending it just a little bit more because I'm going to do 2 different types of glimmers in the actual crease. So, I feel like the trick with cutting the crease is the blending of this outer edge right here. And the best way that you can do that is by gently stippling your brush. Careful not to go too far out, right? But stippling it really makes a lovely difference. I'm going to be grabbing this, this is a Sigma eyeshadow or eye shading E55 brush, and I'm going to be grabbing the 2 metallic shades on the side that we're going. I'm going to start with the lightest one so I can ensure to have more control. small brush like this, I'm going to go on my waterline on the bottom. And I think I want to swipe, because I definitely want to keep this very warm. I want to go between this shade and this shade. This is a little bit more, I guess, on the brighter side, and this is a little bit more on the warmer. So I'm going to just dip on both of them, and I'm going to start sweeping it on my lash line. Okay, for my water lash line, I always love when I'm doing a fall look, I love to amberize the eyes, and I have this yellow toned Tarte Easy on the Eyes liner, and I really, really like that. Now you can definitely amberize the eye if you want to with the shade, or you can use a white. You can also use a nice soft brown. It just really depends on what you want to create on the eye shape. But in my case, I really do want to create more of an ambered effect on the eye. I feel like amber type of tones are just really, really gorgeous, especially with what we're creating, which is the fall vibe, right? Grabbing a really tight brush like this will really allow you to kind of water. I never know how to say this, but it'll really allow you to go underneath the waterline to sharpen up that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the darkest shade that I did on my crease, because I want it to all be cohesive. And I'm just picking up some, and I'm just going to, you know, kind of snatch it up a bit. Let me pop a lash and let's go on to the next eye, because honey, we gotta get the excitement out of here. I feel like we've used, what, so far on this eye alone, we've used 2, 4, 6, 7 colors, and I feel like everything has worked so well that I'm actually really, really surprised. I'm excited to jump onto the other color selections that they have here, and I'm really excited because I feel like I'm gonna create a little bit something more grungy, a little bit more edgy when it comes down to this type of look of fall. So stay tuned. Let me put a lash on and I will be right back. All right, so lashes are on, and honey, if you don't wear lashes, I don't know what to tell you. Besides that you are crazy, lashes are everything. They take everything to the next level. It's no joke. I love a good pair of lashes. I feel like this just romanticizes the entire look. And I feel like sometimes in camera you can't really tell, but I feel like it's just in person it's beautiful. I'm like, ooh, baby, right here, right now. So let's move on to the next eye, because we do have a lot of work left to do. And, you know, we got to do what we got to do. So let's start off with another fluffy brush. I want to do a similar concept. I don't know if I want to do, I'm confused on what I want to do. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I feel like I need to do a similar concept, right? I feel like the reason why I need to do a similar concept is because I have to do my best to use all the colors in the formula. So I guess we're going to do a similar concept. Grabbing this fluffy brush here, I'm going to go into the soft brown shade on this side here. Now grabbing the same brush, I'm going to dip into the darkest shade out of the stars, I guess, and, you know, just packing it on the crease itself. brush here. I think this is a crown brush. I've had it for a little while now. I'm gonna re-dip into the softer brown shade to kind of soften things out. So now that I've kind of set the base playing around between these brushes here, this was a clean one, softening things out a bit. This one was definitely the one that we started with the soft brown, or I guess the bare brown. And this is the one that we started also kind of meshing in. What I'm going to do now is I'm grabbing this short brush and I'm going to go to this corner shade right here, which is almost like the darkest in, and I'm going to re-intensify the crease just a smidge. Okay, so that base is pretty much done. It's interesting because this one's a different approach overall. I think that there are a lot more shimmers in this side that there are on the other side. I feel like there's, what, 2 shimmers really on this eye, which we used both of them. But on this side, I have 3 shimmers and 2 mattes. So I'm kind of unsure of how I want to go about this. I feel like I want to create something a little bit more grungier. So even though I really like this shimmer right here, I feel like I've done something similar with the, what was it? The Beauty Bay palette, you know, very rose gold, very bronzy, almost a little bit amber-esque. And I kind of don't want to be a little repetitive. So I feel like I'm going to stray away from that. And I'm going to grab a brush and cut my crease. So, oh my God, I literally just realized that my camera was off. The joys of it all. So let me explain a little bit of what happens here. So I decided to create a more of an elongated shape versus such a round shape on the eye, because I just want to create a little bit of difference. I want to kind of create a little bit more of that kind of cat focused eye versus this one's a little bit more rounded, more of like a C, has that extendedness, but it's not going to be as sharp as this one. What I did with the shimmers is I actually went in with this incredibly beautiful, here it is, this incredibly beautiful, it's like a brown, like it's just it's just really interesting shade, and I really, really like it. I used that outside corner blending out because that was deeper, so I felt like that was going to mesh better with the actual brown to dark brown tone. Also, I also felt like it, because it is a little bit darker, I don't want my eyes to be so shut right in this kind of area. I want it to kind of open and then extend out, right? So then I went in with this beautiful kind of camel, weird camo, like green metallic, and it's just so gorgeous. Like both of the combinations, very sultry, very sexy. So I'm really, really excited to use this. Okay, so this is this eye finished. I feel like definitely it's not everybody's taste, and I feel like most definitely everybody will have a preference. I think this is more natural, more soft, and I feel like a lot of people really gravitate towards this one. But I feel like also this is just very daring and most definitely very appropriate for a lot of events. So definitely I think this is a day and an evening look with an edge curved to it. And I've got to be honest with you, I think overall they performed really well. Let's go into the center shade, which is the only shade that we have not touched. And let's use that center shade as a highlight. I'm hopeful that this is going to be a really beautiful tone. That's the highlight shade right there. It's actually really beautiful, very reflective, and I'm very happy that it's not leaving a very dark cast on my skin as it moves. It's just kind of like this beautiful iridescent pinkish glow. And I mean, what can I say? It's wild. I'm going to be placing on my lips today Morphe products. And we're going to be using the Well Red for lip lining, and then we are going to be using the Nibble in liquid lipstick. I'm really excited because I actually have not used this liquid lipstick. So I'm excited. I'm excited. It's going to be beautiful. All right, you guys, so final thoughts on this palette is that, I didn't expect it to work this well. I feel like all of the eyeshadows worked really, really well. I feel like there was barely any fallout. The most fallout that I had was actually from like the glitter slash pearlized shades. But I think, the highlight looks incredible. I think both of the eyes just really work really, really well. And again, it's options, most definitely. I don't know if they still sell this palette in particular, but I hope this video helped you not only settle, into if you do want to purchase it and it is available, purchase it, but also to know that, potentially PUR or PUR or PUR, whatever it's called, has actually good quality of shadows. I was very thoroughly and taken by storm and surprised by it. So with that said, you guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We are ever so growing, ever so changing. And I mean, honey, we've got a night and day look. We've got you covered. So make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Don't forget to give this a little thumbs up because you know how it goes here, honey. And, subscribe, binge watch. It's a thing. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.